Welcome to the NBA Free Picks podcast for Wednesday, January the 28th. I'm Joe Duffy of OffshoreInsiders.com. Of course, as you know, at OffshoreInsiders.com, we're obsessed with being the top sports betting expert in history, and it has been achieved. Clockwork winning, nothing out of the ordinary, 69-48 in basketball for Joe Duffy's picks. Get 5 winners for tonight, better night than usual, led by an NBA wise guy play. We have changed the life of bettors for the bettors, making the bookmakers miserable. Are you ready to begin the rest of your gambling life if you've been betting on your own? Today is the day to begin the rest of your gambling life at OffshoreInsiders.com, www.OffshoreInsiders.com. Here are some news and notes for today. For bettors and fantasy players alike, Boston and Minnesota. Timberwolves have the worst defensive efficiency in the last 15 games in the entire NBA, allowing 109.3 points per 100 possessions. Boston, 8th worst at 104.4 points. Minnesota, 2nd worst net rating, minus 16.8 in their last 5 games. Again, that is the difference between offensive and defensive efficiency, points per 100 possessions. So Minnesota has been getting blown out, basically. Mo Williams is questionable for Minnesota. He averages 12.5 points per game and 6.4 assists. Minnesota is 1-3 against the spread without him, going under 3-1. Now, teams are 24-64-1 against the spread, minus 4.4 points per game after a game on the road in which they shot less than 35% from the field. That angle says to fade Minnesota. Brooklyn and Atlanta, the Hawks have the 3rd best defensive efficiency in the last 15 games, allowing 97.1 points per 100 possessions. Hawks, the 3rd best offensive efficiency the last 15 games at 111.2. Sacramento and Toronto playing back-to-back in 3 games in 4 days while the Kings are rested. Charlotte and San Antonio, Charlotte's 2nd best defensive efficiency in their last 15 games, allowing 94.4 points per 100 possessions. The Spurs are 5th best in the NBA in that span at 98.1. Denver and New Orleans, listen to this. Pelicans 22-4 against the spread when they have revenge in their next game at home. We got so many more notes. Can I ask you a quick favor? Wherever you're listening to this, maybe iTunes or Stitcher, please give us a positive rating there, or please retweet this. Basically, the more exposure we get, the more free information we will give you. Whatever you can do to help us, especially give us a good rating at wherever you're listening. If it's on YouTube, give us a like. The experts tell us that helps us in search engine, etc. And certainly if you're on Twitter, please retweet this to your friends. That, help us and we'll help you. The more exposure we get, the more podcast we will do and the more free information. All right, Dallas and Houston. Dallas is playing back-to-back in 3 games in 4 days while Houston is rested. Dwight Howard, a game-time decision for Houston. Clippers and Utah. Clippers' 2nd best offensive efficiency at 112.4 points per 100 possessions and 3rd best in net rating at plus 9.8 in the past 15 games. Incredibly, the Clippers are plus 16.1 in their last 5 games. Now, LA is 9-0 in the back pocket with at least 1 day rest off of a win in which they trailed by 10-plus points. Oklahoma City and New York. New York, the 2nd worst net rating at a horrid minus 12.7 in their last 15 games. Kevin Durant's out for the Thunder, and OKC is going under 16-8 with him out of the lineup. New York 5-27 against the spread as a dog versus a team that has an assist-to-turnover ratio of less than 1.5. Our first free pick for today is to go with Oklahoma City under. Washington and Phoenix. Washington back-to-back in 3 games in 4 days. Whoa, listen to this one, folks. Washington 0-16 against the spread after playing on the road against the Lakers. However, conversely, teams are 0-19 against the spread, minus 5.82 points per game, since December the 3rd at home after a double-digit loss in which they had an assist-to-turnover ratio of at least 2. That angle says to fade Phoenix. So an angle and a trend kind of competing against each other. Detroit and Philadelphia, the Pistons back-to-back in 3 games in 4 days. Philadelphia is rested. Now, Michael Carter-Williams is questionable for the Sixers. They're 0-2 against the spread without him. Brandon Jennings is out for Detroit. He averaged 15.4 points per game and 6.6 assists Sixers' Tony Wroten is out for the year. Philadelphia is going under 6-1 without him. Remember, he was a pretty good offensive player, averaging 16.9 points per game. Now, keep in mind the teams are 22-64-1 against the spread, minus 4.49 a game. After a game on the road in which they shot less than 35% from the field, that says to fade the 76ers. But your official free pick will be on the under. Detroit and Philadelphia under. Also, Oklahoma City and New York to go under the total. Remember, Joe Duffy's picks, what a remarkable, absolutely remarkable portfolio. Wow. Beyond belief. We've got 5 winners for tonight at Joe Duffy's picks. And that includes a Wise Guy play. Simply put, Wise Guy plays from Joe Duffy's picks without question the single strongest play in the handicapping universe. It's at offshoreinsiders.com. And again, please help us get some exposure. Give us a positive review, 5 stars at iTunes or Stitcher, wherever you're listening. Give us some likes at YouTube and retweet this. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you with more free information tomorrow.